going to our first overtime of the night.
An overtime now, Marsh, is just exactly a half of a regulation match. The first period will be 1 minute, and both wrestlers will be on their feet. The next two periods will also be 1 minute, with the referees or with the wrestlers being on the mat.
Marty Loy along with Coach Rick Lobinger, and Rick's telling him to go underneath. There's a good shot of the River Valley crowd. Plenty of them here tonight from the Spring Green area. And there's a good shot of Bob Hackbart, 27-0 from Hartland Arrowhead, along with Coach Andy Marks. And it's a battle of strategy now and strength.
I think one other thing that both coaches might be telling the Marsh is that you've got to be aggressive, because if it ends up tied at the end of the regulation period, the wrestler that has scored first, or if neither wrestler has scored first, the wrestler that has been the most aggressive will win the match.
All right, now do the stalling points carry over into the overtime?
The stalling points do not carry over into the overtime, Marsh. It's a brand new match. The only thing is it's 1-1-1 rather than 2-2-2.
167 pounds, Marty Loy of River Valley, Bob Hackbart of Hartland.
I think you'll see a noticeable pickup in the action now, Marsh, with the aggressiveness being such a factor.
Hackbart in with the leg, but Loy leans back and leans on top of Hackbart and breaks it. They're close to the edge of the mat. I'd have to say that Hackbart seems to be the more aggressive right now. He's taken the last couple of shots.
Now that shot counted for him with 35 seconds left. Right now, if it were to come down to a 0-0 tie, why, that one would very definitely be in his favor.
If they're tied at the end of the overtime, it will be a referee's decision. Now, does he consult with the mat judges, or will it be his own decision?
No, it'll be his own decision now. Actually, we use a criterion here in Wisconsin, and it's pretty much decided unless it's a 0-0 tie. Then the referee has to decide it himself.
10 seconds remaining in the first period of overtime at 167 pounds. They're both still on their feet. Well, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, Coach, that the University of Wisconsin will host 10th-ranked Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon here at the field house, and it'll be Lee Kemp Day. The defending Big Ten champion the last 2 years, the two-time defending national champion, will be making his final home appearance. And I know that many, many fans from around the state plan to be here at the field house to pay this final tribute to Lee Kemp and 5 other seniors who will be making their final home appearance.
That'll be at 2 o'clock, Marsh, right here in the UW field house.
I imagine quite a few of these state high school wrestling fans will stay over tonight for that match also.
We certainly hope so, because as you well know, a crowd can inspire an athletic team beyond their normal limits.
Tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, 4th-ranked Wisconsin, 10th-ranked Oklahoma, and it'll be Lee Kemp Day. Second period of overtime, 167 pounds, Marty Loy of River Valley, Bob Hackbart of Hartland. And Hackbart is trying to get out. Loy gets behind, and he can clasp his hands when they're on their feet.
There's something very important to remember here now, Marsh. If Bob Hackbart is able to escape, he will have scored the first point. And he just did escape. That's a very important first point, because if Marty Loy does the same thing in the third period and there are no stalling warnings, Bob Hackbart will win because he scored the first point.
25 seconds remaining in the second period of overtime at 167 pounds. Hackbart's in again. He's gone for the double leg. That seems to be his favorite move.
That's undoubtedly his best. Now, someone has been warned, Marsh. It may have been both of them. But a stalling warning has been given, and that's very, very important also.
10 seconds remaining in the second period of overtime. That's Loy on the left of your screen. Bob Hackbart on the right. We've got 1 minute of wrestling remaining. You know, Coach, we haven't had a fall here tonight at all. All of them have been decisions.
In the state finals, Marsh, it just seems as though the young men are too good and too strong to turn and put on their back.
Well, without a doubt, D.C. Everest is going to win the team championship with 81 points. because it would take a pin by Marty Loy here in the next 55 seconds for them to win the team title, and Loy is having enough problems right now as he trails 1-0. And he gets a point. Now it's 1-1, and as you said, Hackbart escaped first in the second period, so he could possibly win it on the referee's decision. 40 seconds remaining.
And I do believe that that was a double stalling warning, which means that at this point in time, if nothing changes, Bob Hackbart will be the winner, and it appears as though Marty Loy knows that because he's really aggressive.
Well, Marty Loy got in on a leg, and he was trying to pull Hackbart back on the mat, and the referee called him for being off the mat with 25 seconds remaining. Hackbart is unbeaten, 27-0. Loy gives up a leg. Hackbart has the leg with 17 seconds remaining. Loy fighting him off. 10 seconds remains on the clock. It's 1-1. Loy shoots for the leg and misses. And they're off the mat with 5 seconds. There's time for one more shot.
There's a big 5 seconds here, Marsh, and that's about what he's got time for.
Well, that's it. That's it. And on the strength of the takedown in the second period that he got first, or the escape, I should say, by what you said, the winner should be Bob Hackbart.
I'm certain that that was a double warning. The looks on the faces of both the coaches indicate to me that it was. And if what we assume is true, Bob Hackbart is the 1978 167-pound Wisconsin State High School champion.
Well, we'll find out in just a second. You'll hear the eruption here in the field house. The winner, Bob Hackbart of Hartland Arrowhead. His 28th victory against no losses. Marty Loy loses it. All 3 River Valley wrestlers have lost in the finals, and DC Everest has won the team championship. Bob Hackbart, the state champion at 167 pounds from Hartland, Wisconsin. The fifth, at 167 pounds, 5th place went to Jim Erickson of Owen Whippy. 4th place, Eric Gunderson of Stoughton. 3rd place, Jim Fronbury of Brookfield Central. 2nd place on the left of your screen, Marty Loy of River Valley. And the winner at 167 pounds, Bob Hackbart of Hartland, who won it on a referee's decision after a 1-1 tie in overtime. Bob Hackbart, Hartland, 167-pound champion. We'll be back with more wrestling highlights after these messages on your WIAA network.